Many of you have probably either seen or heard of the Sin City. This is Las Vegas. Well, there's a lot of dark secrets and shocking things that I have dug deep into that I want to share with you in this video. So without further ado, let's get into it.
I live inside my own world of make-believe.
The early history of Las Vegas starts like this. It was simply a dusty town. Any of you who have been to Las Vegas know that it is incredibly hot and desert there. But it wasn't long before it turned into a gambling haven. In fact, gambling was legalized in 1931. And you might not believe this, but maybe you would, that early mob presence in Las Vegas contributed significantly to the building up of the gambling scene, because these mobsters saw the value of building out the infrastructure of casinos to trap people in and make loads and loads of money. In fact, that's how Las Vegas got its name, Sin City. It was tied to these gang-related activities and other sinister things happening in the city at the time. There's not much more to the history than that. Over the last 100 years, it's simply grown and grown and grown as a hub for this type of business where pretty much anything goes, which means there's lots of money to be made. And when there's that type of money to be made, you better believe that there are people who are ready and waiting to take advantage. Just last year, 2023, there was over $50 billion spent in Las Vegas alone, and Las Vegas casinos reported to the state of Nevada that they profited over $15 billion from gambling winnings from people playing their games. I can't express to you how crazy that is, because you have to imagine if there's $50 billion being spent on shows and hotels and activities and gambling, you know that 15 billion of that is being kept by casinos alone. That's outrageous. And that brings us to the model of the casino. The way that they plan these casinos out so that you literally never want to leave is honestly scary. They want you to be trapped inside and to spend as much money as possible. And it all starts with how the building is built. There are no windows on the inside. There are no clocks. There's music playing. There's lights flashing. All of this to trap you inside and keep you playing over and over again. Honestly, if you think about it, it's not just scary, it's kind of creepy that they want you to stay that bad, and they're pulling on every psychological lever that they can to keep you inside. The next piece of this is the service in the casinos. Oftentimes, people who are spending big or playing often, they're offered drinks and food and amenities, other things that they may not have received if they weren't doing what they were doing. Even the rooms in the casinos are notoriously cheap oftentimes, because they know that if they can get you in the door, that you will stay and you will play. That's really the game of the casino. That's the game of Las Vegas. While there are other things in Las Vegas to do, and we'll talk about those things a little bit later, because there are some problems there as well, the casinos are the foundation of the business of Las Vegas. You might have heard in Greek mythology this concept of the Lotus Hotel. I remember when I was a kid, I was watching a movie called Percy Jackson, and they went into this hotel and they were just like trapped inside. There was so much going on. There were games, there was food, there was drinks, there was people talking and music playing. And I just remember thinking to myself, that is scary. They couldn't get out. I remember the characters in this movie could not get out at all costs. People technically are, yes, allowed to leave, but there's so much pulling them in that a lot of people gamble themselves nearly to death. Now let's talk about just basic slot machines. They'll oftentimes give you random rewards, small little winnings, just to push you to play one more time. They'll also give you near misses. This is another psychological way to get you to keep playing, because they make you think that since you were close this time, that you're gonna be closer next time, or that you might win next time. And this is what really keeps people playing. It's that feeling that I'm this far, I'm so close, and I might be able to make it big or win big. And even if I don't win it big, I won a little bit already, and so I'm not totally lost out on everything. So it's this really sick cycle that keeps people trapped in for hours and hours, even days. And some people literally end up not being able to leave. That's probably another video. But there are actually people who have gambled so much that they basically leave the casinos, they get kicked out of the casinos because they have no money. They have no way to get home, they lose everything. And there's actually people living under the city of Las Vegas that are called mole people. There are hundreds of miles of tunnels under the city of Las Vegas that are filled with people who have lost everything to the city. One final thing I have to mention here under the casinos is there's something that's called the house's edge. And that's simply that all the games are rigged for the house to win. And so even if there is a small payout here or there, even a couple large payouts, the house always wins. You have to remember, this is literally their business. And so it's not luck, it's not chance. They have mathematical equations that say when people can win and when they can't. And that's why they are always going to win. And the players always, in the long run, are going to lose every single time. I think it's important to talk about the psychological impact that gambling has on people. Now, when looking it up, there's actually a very small percentage of people in America who have a gambling addiction. It's like less than 5%, but there's still a lot of people who are being hurt by gambling. I mean, from the standpoint of being able to invest and save and, pay for everything that a person needs on a monthly basis, when you go and take an extra amount of money and go spend it and pretty much know you're gonna lose it, there are psychological factors that are going on there. And when I looked up the statistic of how much the average person spends when they go to Vegas, it's on average over $700 per person. Now that's crazy because Sam and I just went to Las Vegas and we didn't gamble at all. We didn't play any slot machines, we didn't do anything there. So that means for us spending $0 when we're in Vegas, somebody spent double what we spent because that 700 is literally just an average. When you gamble, basically the pleasure centers in the brain are activated and dopamine is released and people get excited. And it's really that idea that it just makes you feel good when you're playing, that you feel like you can win, you feel like you're on top of the world. But at the end of the day, all of that goes away because you will end up losing, even if you make a little win here or there. One of the largest types of emotional manipulation happening in these casinos is called the gambler's fallacy. And basically what it breaks down to is people believe inherently that because something happened a specific way in the past, that is going to determine a specific outcome in the future. So for example, I mentioned slot machines earlier, how they'll give you like a very close win. Like you don't quite win, but you get like 90% of the way there. And that makes you feel like you're super close to winning. When in reality, that's not how it works. And people end up feeling this way and they end up acting on those feelings and they get sucked in playing over and over again. One of the biggest problems I have with all of the business happening in Las Vegas is that the people going there to experience this glamorous lifestyle for just a few days or a week or so, they are normal, average people. In most cases, these are not like very wealthy people going. Of course, there are the wealthy who will go and have a good time there and maybe spend a small percentage of their money in Las Vegas. However, the majority of people funding these businesses and these endeavors are normal, average, everyday people. These are people who really can't afford to be losing the type of money that they're losing, and it really is preying on the weak. While there are great amounts of business happening in Las Vegas, and I'm sure it's great for the economy there, the tourist economy in Las Vegas is very strong. It's one of the most notorious places in the entire world for this type of winning and lifestyle and to get this feeling of glamour and this feeling of the world of riches. But again, it all comes back to who is being hurt the most, and the majority of the people being hurt are average everyday people who really can't afford to be hurt in this way. Now let's step away from gambling for just a second. We'll step away from the casinos. We'll give them a break. Not much of a break. There are a lot of other things to do in Las Vegas. There are shows to go to, there are many other events and activities to participate in, but when you go into Las Vegas, there are, I should also say, restaurants to eat and shopping to do, but when you go in to do all of these things, where are all these activities located, or for the most part located? They're back inside the casinos. If you go to a show, it's often in a casino. If you go to a nice restaurant, they're often in the casinos. If you go to a shopping mall, they're often in the casinos. All of this is still centered around the gambling because that's where so much of the profits come from. That's what Las Vegas is. It is truly an escape from reality to experience something that you can't experience in day-to-day life. But the question is, will you make it out? Let me know if you'd like to have a follow-up video on these people who are lost to the city of Las Vegas. There are some incredibly interesting stories of these people who have lost everything. If you'd love to learn more about those people, let me know. If you are interested in other crazy facts about the business of Las Vegas, check out this video here. I think you're really gonna like it.